Okay, this is going to be a tutorial on how we use our matrices in Excel. We've got our existing matrix here, kind of a preliminary matrix that we've had approved by the owner, and the time has come to transition to filling out kind of our official matrix that goes on the cover sheet. I think before you get going, depending on your job, it's important to understand and make sure that these definitions here are correct. Most notably, how you're calculating your gross square footage and your net rentable area. Now, obviously there are different ways to do these kinds of calculations. The way we typically do it is that the units are the paint-to-paint area, the conditioned space of the apartment, including all interior wall partitions. This pretty much overlaps with the HUD definition of net rentable area or net square feet of a unit. From there we do gross square footage. Again, we calculate this as kind of the exterior face of stud of all the demising and perimeter walls of the units. Some folks include the sheathing. Some folks include the facade materials like brick and siding on top of that. We, for the sake of argument, because ours varies, we do not include these values, but sometimes it's important to stipulate that you're not including these values. The only time that really gets to be kind of an issue is if you're like right on the line for gross square footage based on your code review for what's allowable for your building area. Okay, it doesn't matter so much for the units, but you really don't want to be in a position where you're theoretically trying to reduce the gross square footage that you're calculating so that you can pass a building review without, say, putting a firewall in. Okay. But yeah, in general, make sure you clearly define what you're doing and take your time and calculate it correctly. Because otherwise, if you don't get your net square footage right and your gross square footage right for the units, the way we calculate is going to throw a lot of other calculations off. And little mistakes add up to big mistakes when you multiply them, right? So we got several tabs here in this matrices. You kind of want to start with the units, fill this out. It's fairly straightforward. Label the units. I try to keep this so that the unit labels in the matrix match exactly to the unit labels that are on your floor plans and your enlarged unit plans. FYI, that coordination is usually key to getting you through a permit review to start, and then your funding sources, and then from there the buildability of it. So let's start. I have 4 building types, so I need to copy this and then insert copied cells, shift cells down. Go ahead. This will be building type D. Go ahead and insert a column there because I know I'm going to need it. There we go. I know you can, okay, so we do the numbering of it, but for now I can jump around. I know that I'm going to, I don't have a shower unit requirement, so I'm going to remove these and delete that. Throw my formulas off. You'll notice right away that a lot of these values are linked values. So the way that we do that, for example, so let's see, these are going to be, those are going to be copy paste. So let's see, these are going to be 2, that's going to be 2. Type C is going to be all 3 types. Alright, so first things first, it's not going to be bold, there's not going to be a fill. Alright, all you need to do is say equal, jump a tab, go to what you want it to be, you're good to go. Those are going to be 11. There we go. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Merge that over. Copy that. Copy that. Copy those formulas up. Everybody wants to be to the right. These guys are all. It's got some nice formatting in here. Let's see. We can match that formatting. There we go. So that is a 36 unit building. This guy, he is going to be equal to 2. You can also do it this way, where you can just override the commands. You just override the link. Like so. That's perfect. That's a 1, 2. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3. Just as well. Keep your formatting. Okay. So that's basically how you do that. Now there is no good way to copy and paste all of this stuff here. Like I haven't been able to figure this one out. You know, if it's formatting, you can link it, but in it's just a link to up above. You know, if that makes sense. So I try to just copy and paste this verbatim. That guy is total. It's okay if it is a direct link here, but normally if you're formatting it properly, you want to always send it back to the original table. That way, if you change it here, it will update everywhere. So, 2-bedroom. Three-bedroom. And 2-bedroom. And 3-bedroom. Oops. Grabbed the wrong one there. Now, because these buildings vary for the location of accessible units and sensory hearing units, I set the table up with just the standard units and then reference a sheet so that you replace them standard units with accessible units. So this is fairly straightforward. We just insert a row here, bring that up. All of this gets a border. That will be type D. This is going to be 1. We've got 2, 7, and 2. And that's from there. It's 8, 8, 8. 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4, 4, 4. Okay. So it looks like we've got the top half of the table formatted theoretically correctly. And we've got the total number of buildings formatted correctly. I want to say that I'm going to need to extend this table up above. I know, for example, that I'm going to have a clubhouse. I know that I'm going to have a pretty sure I'm going to have a maintenance building. Pretty sure I'm going to have a cabana. Pretty sure I'm going to have a garage. And because I have all of these things, pretty sure I need to review my spelling there as well. If it says so. So, go back. Really, the main point of this exercise here is that because I know I'm going to have to list a bunch of stuff here, I think I need to move my building information down. And I need to do, that. just so when I add a bunch of stuff to this guy that I have room to do it. Basically. I think he's gonna look like that. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. Let's see. Calculating the number of units. Alright. This is fairly easy. So this is the sum of that. So we need to add that guy, and he is being multiplied by the number of C buildings, which is there. Alright, let's see if we match so far. 108, yep, that's good. Alright. You've got that, you've got that. So again, it's just a matter of adding in building D. Putting in your formulas correctly. Alright. Correct that. So purple gets multiplied by that. Alright, let's check that one more time. Purple by green, blue with red, and kind of a, alright, so I don't know what you call it, magenta by B61. Yep, okay. I agree with that. Let's see if that shakes out. 60. Okay, we're missing a whole lot of buildings on 2. Ah, I see it. Okay. Need to do him by that guy. There we go. 108, 156, and 60. 324 total. It's good. Alright, then we just need to go update this. Round up. 6, 8, 3, 3. Ooh, that one's very close. 4, 2. That's quite painful. Alright. So I kind of have a feeling they'll have garage, cabana. I'm going to take a quick look at the site plan here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 garages, which I think one of which is going to be kind of a maintenance building. I know that we're going to have a cabana. Yeah, I think 324. Alright. Now that looks good. Okay, I agree. I agree with all that. Don't know if I'm going to have the rest of these yet or not, but for now I'm going to leave it and say that I need it. Now the rest of these are fairly straightforward. Take every net rentable area, you divide it by 3. And there you go. This guy's pretty simple. Multiply this guy by the number of buildings, which is 1. There we go. Easy peasy. Clean up the formatting a little bit. Alright, this guy. It's kind of the same thing. That multiplied by that. There's your total dwelling unit gross square footage. Now this is rather fun. These values all reference this life safety sheet here. I need to insert copied cells. Actually, you know what? I would be better off copying building B. Well, let's think about that for a second. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I like the formatting of this guy the best. Z is equal to him. There we go. That's a winner. All right. Well, I wish I could. Well, not sure I can copy with formatting. That's a shame. That's all right. Sometimes Sometimes you just can't win. It's alright. Just wear the problem down. Sometimes you gotta do it manually. Let's see. Now I know I want these to be sort of evenly spaced because we put fields within these guys. Alright, so the building, these guys can tighten up. Yeah, I like that, I like. Another way I could do this is just say that I want grab all these guys. Just go ahead and set it that way. Then they're all equidistant. So if all those guys were 30, I can say that this wants to be 60, and then they're all evenly spaced. There we go. That makes a little bit more sense. There we go. I think that reads a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. So from here, all I would do is input, because I know that the fire riser room, that all just stays the same. This is all. I could help everybody out by just telling you that that's exactly what that is. And it's usually the same on every building. Nope, that'll do. Same 44 square feet. Go through here, double check my formatting. I think what I'd like to do is bump this up something a little bit more substantial. And then as I get information on the rest of the buildings, I'll just add it to these rows. But really, all I need to do, and this might vary for building to building, but all I have is residential R2 building, the way they calculate the occupancy is the gross square footage of the floor divided by, the occupancy count was at 200 per. So it's very easy to list out the floor gross square feet. You just list out the overall perimeter of the building, basically. I don't, again, for this gross of the buildings, I do include breezeways on my walk-up buildings, but I don't include the porches. And I just type it in this middle one, right? So this is a value I input. The theoretically the third floor will be the same as the second, and the only difference on the first floor is that I'm adding the fire riser room to it. And then there's my total all floors gross square footage, and that will go back and populate these tables here. So this guy, for example, is going to be him, and he is going to equal him. So if I know it's 20, that'll be, no, that's right, FG. So he's going to equal type C. And of course you can just, and he's going to equal him, all multiplied over. And then this guy is going to be, it's the same as the others. And he's going to be multiplied by the number of buildings. So if I were to change, let's say that this one is, I don't know. Let's do one down here. He's going to be a big boy. 12,000 square feet. So let's say he's 18, right? And this one is 16. And this one's going to be, and this one's going to be 12, right? Just double check my math. All the fire riser rooms are getting added to it. Go back to the code review, all these values update. So this is a good way. You do these straight zeros. It's a good way to remember that they're all just placeholders for now. It'll jump right in. When you read it, it jumps out at you as being not quite right. No building comes out perfect, especially not 4 of them. I don't know if I like that formatting, but yeah. For now, I'll just get rid of all those. I know I'm going to have 4 garages. I don't know how big they're going to be yet, but there we go. That's basically how I do these. It's basically how I set these guys up. The only other thing that I want to update here is an address. Okay, there we go. I'll get these calculated and filled these in, but this is pretty much all that I do to make one of these work. Thank you.